Let's see who we've got. Come on. So, I see some pretty faces this morning. Oh my God, Kaylee. What's that? Halloween, it's, what is it, Monday?
Rude.
See if we can get some more cameras on. I know Rachel's going to be traveling a bit. AJ's on the mortgage course, who's watching from afar. Laura, can we see your niceness, as we always say? And who's the other Fortune Financial? Who will that be, Kaylee? Who's the other Fortune Financial?
What'd you say?
There's another Fortune Financial on here.
Oh yeah, that's me.
Are you got two connected?
Oh no, that might be Shannon, to be fair.
Might be Shannon, could be Cade, not too sure. Are we going to get some cameras on? Is anybody listening? It shows people here. Are they connected and are they listening? Or are they just connected for the sake of connecting? Because, oh, hello there, Rachel.
Hello.
Good morning. Was it one of them where you ran around quickly and like brushed your hair and got ready?
Yeah, got a little one.
Oh.
Very nice.
Ezra.
Good morning.
Say hello.
What's he watching? I can hear it in the background.
Yeah, he's got his nursery rhyme things on, so a bit loud here.
Oh, bless. I remember those days. Nice. I used to like Rah Rah the Lion. I don't think you've watched that one. I got into it more than my daughter. I used to make her watch it so I could watch it.
Yeah, he likes that.
Right, let's get to it, guys. This is the first monthly group mentoring session. So first and foremost, if you're on this session now, then you're already winning. And I'm going to go backwards with regards to my notes, because I've done some notes for today, because I didn't want to miss anything. I don't want to be organised in what points we need to cover. But what I'm going to say is these monthly mentoring sessions, they're mandatory for people that want to get on them and they want to be successful, and they also want to commit and understand that there's going to be an accountability, there's going to be daily communication with the group and motivation. And sorry, I lost track of thought because I just seen Cade nearly go flying in the shop. But no, it's an opportunity for you to say, right, I've joined Fortune Financial, I'm part of Primus. I can see there's a lot of successful people in this network. How are they doing it? What are they doing? And I want to be part of that elite group. So when we recruited on the basis of part-time, full-time, in your own time. Now, we are going to continue to recruit in 2023, and the mindset's now going to be totally different. We're going to recruit people on the basis of you're here to do a job and you're here to perform. So, of course, the current people that have come in this year, of course, we have lost a couple of people, and the great people, there's nothing wrong with the character and what they brought to the table as an individual. It was just about results and whether I saw potential in them people moving forward. And I didn't, if I'm honest. Whereas the people we've got in the business now, everybody who's here, I believe, has got the potential to, firstly, bring the character that you can't teach. I've always said that. But also, I've got an understanding of what it is we do. And that's the most important thing. We've said it over the last year or a couple of years within the team. If you understand and you get it, and you understand what it is, this industry, and how you portray yourself and how you kind of go at it, then you can be really successful, whilst at the same time, it can be really rewarding. And when the two come together and you're financially incentivized with a job you love and you get, and you bring a passion to the table, then you'll realize how blessed you are to be in the position you're in. And I think that's the thing we're going to start with today. It's a real understanding of how lucky you are to be in this industry. And I believe in Fortune Financial, who is a great business. And that's not me ego, that's not me being biased saying that. I believe you're in a great place and you can achieve whatever you want to achieve. And the limits are only down to you as an individual. So as I say, I'm going to start going backwards with regards to what today's mentoring session is about. And I know a couple of people will probably end up watching it back. From now on, the sessions, will I record them? I might record them, but they're not for the purpose of sending out a recording. If we've got a mentoring session on and you're part of the elite group in Fortune Financial, we expect you to commit and to step up and be on the call. And same when it comes to training meetings, same when it comes to hitting your targets. It means we step up and we do what we say we're going to do. So coming straight down to the mentoring meeting now, you know, the mindset has got to change, you know, be 15 minutes early for everything. I mean, make sure that you're first on the call. Make sure that you're wanting to be a winner between the group. As much as we're a team, let's bring some competition to the table. And also, let's be there to support each other as well as competing. Let's look after each other, because you're all going to have little bumps in the road. It's never smooth sailing and positive all the time, but it's how you handle them bumps in the road. When you get a court check, for example, and it's not a court check you want to be dealing with, the best thing to do is get it off your desk. Get it done and get it off your desk. Don't go talking about it to everyone. Don't go dwelling on it and thinking, oh, this, that, and the other. It's going to strip you back, and it's really going to put your momentum down. If you get a customer complaint, it is what it is. You're going to get complaints. Not everyone's going to be happy. To deal with it, get it off your desk, move forward. So you don't want to manifest negativity. And when that comes, and it will come, in spirit, you want to grab hold of it, you want to deal with it and get rid of it and get back on the positive bandwagon. And to be honest with you, that's what the mentoring session is about. It's all about someone's just joined with a microphone echoing. If you could do something about that. Maybe mute yourself and listen off Kaylee's. That might make more sense. I'll sit with Kaylee. That might make more sense. So, as I say, this group is about an elite group, and you have no mandatory commitment to be within the group. But all I ask is, if you say you want to join it, and you've got an hour after this Zoom session to message me and say I'm in, then once you're in, you commit and you stand tall. So let me tell you a little bit about what the challenge is, because there's a few tasks we're going to implement from the back of this session today, which what I don't want this to be, I don't want it to be a session like a Sharpen the Saw session where you listen and you go away and you think, well, that was good, but then you don't implement it. We're going to be checking. We're going to be providing evidence that you've done it, not just for me, for the group, to kind of tell people what you're going to be doing. You know, what are your targets? What are you going to achieve? What's your vision? I mean, and of course, you're going to have a plan in the background to be able to achieve that. So we need to shout about it. So then you've got some accountability, not to me, not to the company, but to the group. And there's an understanding then that we really need to put the effort and the work in, because it's not going to be easy. That's the last thing it's going to be. It's going to be hard work. It's going to bring success and good results. But once the results come, you're going to win. So the initial challenge for me is very simple. And it doesn't matter if you're a mortgage advisor or you're a protection advisor solely or joint, or you do what you do. I'm going to get involved in this as well. For November, from the 1st of November to the end of November, and for December, we don't care about Christmas from a business point of view. We get on with it. We're all going to hit 501 back to back. Really simple. And it's easy. Now, when I say it's easy, for some of you, you'll be sat there now thinking, I've not done that before. This is going to be tough. This is going to be a challenge. That's all about mindset. It's what you're telling yourself. It's not difficult. It's 10 clients. It's a couple of clients a week. So we now need to break it down and work on not a month of 500. We need to break it down into weeks and into days and into half days if you want. So you've got to build structures we've talked about before. I'm not going to talk about that today. We've been over all that. We can talk about that in the sessions, and we can support with regards to how your work in practice moves forward. But of course, you do need a plan, and that's really important. So we all love a WhatsApp group. As much as there's 20 million WhatsApp groups in your phone, no doubt, we will be putting together a superstar WhatsApp group that's there for involvement of not me posting results. That's not what it's for. It's for you to evidence when you have success. So when you make a sale, when a client asks you or gives you a referral, when you do a post and you book 6 appointments in one night, do it, whatever it is, whatever's positive you can bring to the table, I don't just mean posting positive quotes. We can do that all day long. And yeah, of course we can do the odd quote. You know, wake up in the morning, post one. It's a nice thing to see. And the way you start your day is so important. But the group is going to be for the remainder of the year. We might scrap it in January, but it's going to be here for November to December for everyone to support and have an understanding of how people are doing. And when people aren't doing well, we can all support and say, well, why don't you try this? Why don't you do that? And then commit regards to what we need to do. So we need to make sure we're all engaging. And I think that's the big thing. It's not just me posting results, and I'll repeat that, and I've said it before. And, you know, I suppose how you bring them results is we then get to work immediately after this Zoom. So we don't wait till the 1st of November. We get at it now because Santa's on his way. You know what I mean? He's ironed his kit, got his boots out, shined them. And before you know it, you know, you'll be sat with your family and you'll be eating turkey and you'll be thinking, where did the year go? So I want you to be sat there at Christmas thinking, I ended the year in style. But not only did you end the year in style, you've set yourself up for an amazing 2023. Because what the business is going to bring at the back end of this year, and we've nearly got a quarter of the year left. Let's get real. I know Christmas, everyone's talking about Christmas and, you know, Christmas cards, and the supermarkets starting to stock up with different festive treats. We've got a quarter of the year left. We're still in October. So let's get real and think, you know, we've got a lot of time to go at the business yet. But then when Christmas hits, we switch off and we have an amazing break and we really enjoy what we're going to do over Christmas with our families, or whatever you choose to do with that as well. So as I mentioned, you don't have to be in on the Superstar group. Let me know if you want to be in on it. You've got an hour from this session to message me. If you don't message me within the hour, you're not interested. That's my mindset. We'll get the group set up today and we'll move forward positively, speaking collectively as a group, day in, day out, cracking each other with a whip and saying, you know, this is what we're going to do. And we'll do it. And everyone in the group will do it. And then we can all celebrate together for sure. So I'm just going to come to you quickly. Again, these groups aren't about me talking. It's not a Sharpen the Saw event and a BDM coming on. It's about involvement to the group. So I just want to come to each one of you and just ask, you know, what's been working well for you this year or since you joined or of late? So I'm going to pick first. I'm going to say Shannon. Shannon, I'm coming to you. What's working well for you at the moment?
I always say that sort of going out on my own and networking works really well because that's how you get, you know, fresh clients. Yeah, so I think with my Facebook posts.
Tell us a little bit more about it then. What is it you're doing?
So mainly my Facebook posts have worked really well for me. Staying consistent with them. I try to post maybe 2, sometimes 3 times a week. The best days for me to post, believe it or not, are Sundays. A lot of the groups on there as well only allow you to post on Sundays, but they're the groups that I get the most clients from. But yeah, I also keep track, like when new clients come in and they email in and they've got an inquiry, you know, always ask where they saw your business, where they found you, because then you can keep track of what works well. So yeah, I would say that's one thing that has been working really well for me this year, because it's, you know, fresh blood as well. So yeah, so it's people coming to you that want stuff rather than you trying to reach out to people that maybe don't want stuff.
Yeah, that's interesting. So you've got inbound clients that are working well for you. You know, you could pick up the phone and ask. And I've seen you do that in the office with your guiding executors. I know we had the conversation recently that you're probably not getting round to them now. You've been too busy dealing with higher quality stuff. But of course, you're blessed that you can jump on them. So what I would encourage you to do is factor some time in to now not only get your inbound that's working, but how do you get outbound working, and you'll double your business. Yeah. So, you know, you're going to factor in a time. We used to do Protection Power Hour, and I don't know why we called it Protection Power Hour. Was that the session? Sorry, that might have been wrong. What was the one on a Thursday night where we got Domino's Pizza? We used to get on the phones for 2 hours booking appointments.
I don't think I was there when you guys done that.
Sure, but we need to factor that in as a group. And again, this is the kind of thing we can do. We can say, you know, who wants to get on and have a bit of fun, a bit of competition on a Thursday night or a Tuesday morning or whatever it is. We'll get something that meets everyone's requirements and say, whoever books the most appointments we'll send you a 25 quid voucher for Amazon. Bit of fun. Let's get on there and do it. And you know what you'll get from that is we'll either get some breakfast in, we'll get some Domino's pizza sent, whatever, depending on the time. But you'll get 5-10 appointments from it, from an hour or two's work.
Yeah.
That's what we're not doing at the moment. And that's what the purpose of these groups are going to be, is to do something different. Not that people are doing things wrong, but if you continue to do the same thing, you'll get the same results. Of course, you might get better at what you do and improve. So the results might start to grow, but you're not significantly going to double or triple or quadruple your business to hit your 501 club, hit your £1,000 worth of business and be a 20 grand advisor. So you've got to change in what you do and learn from what you're doing. So everyone on the call now, you should have a pen and a paper in your hand and you should be jotting down key points that, like Shannon's just told us, the consistency in social media you've just said is key. You know, 2 or 3 times a week. So you're posting regular. You can probably do more than that if you wanted. The more you post, well, what do they say? The more hands you shake, the more money you make. It's very similar. The more posts you make, the more appointments you're going to get. So Sundays, you know, who posts on a Sunday here? I know there's not many because I see all the posts on social media. So social media is something we really all need to work on and collectively as a group and see what works for one that's not working for another. And then the other one might start to implement it. So, you know, Fresh Blood, you just talked about it. That's consistency. It's consistency bringing new people in, because you can get bogged down and stuck in the mud with clients. And when you do that, what happens is a month runs away with itself because you're chasing a client that you know you'll get, but you don't get it for 3 months. So then that business is good. You want it in 3 months, but you need to deal with business that's now. So how do you do that? Fresh Blood, exactly like you said, Shannon. No, I can see that from afar. That's working well for you. What's working well for you at the minute, Kaylee?
I'd say I work best when I'm organised. So, like in the office now, we've got a whiteboard with all the figures on it, what's being issued, and what I'm working on. I've always kind of got lists of to-do lists, how I'm going to work it, and what we kind of spoke about last week was what my average premium is, and then how many cases I need to do to get my minimum, and work towards that. Because for me, if I don't know what I need to achieve, I can't do it. So yeah, definitely organisation for me, and consistency as well. Like if you chase and chase and chase, it does actually end up coming your way. Like I did a case this week that I've chased for 3 years, and I was so happy, but it's literally because I've just kept on going at it. I've had breaks and stuff, but when it's the right time, it is the right time. You just got to keep going.
That is exactly what I'm talking about. This group, that's what I want to hear. I mean, I've been putting the effort in for 3 years on this client. I know you have. I've seen a name popping up and we've talked about her because it's good premium. And you're thinking, it's just a phone call. Let's just upgrade it. Am I right in thinking that a premium was just running away with itself? It was going up and up and up and up. So it was a no-brainer to have better cover and it'd be cheaper for her. But you just couldn't pin her down. And then when you did, she committed, but then she didn't give you the answer you wanted. So absolute madness. But you've done it this week. So well done on that. And persistency pays off. So, you know, I suppose consistency is what Shannon's saying. Persistency is what you're saying, Kaylee.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit more about your organised and what you've done with your whiteboards, if you don't mind. I'm just going to grab my charger while you're doing that.
Sorry, that was a car that went. So 2 weeks ago, I kind of stopped and decided to actually have a look at everything on Mortgage Keeper, my Outlook diary, and all the reports and everything, so that I could actually work out what pipeline we've got. So what's in, it's got nurse screenings, GP reports, etc. That we're just waiting for. Can't really control that at the minute, but what I can control is what I'm putting in. So on the whiteboard, we've got all the advisors, protection advisors, what premiums are at, what the commission would be coming in, and then employed and self-employed issued as well, to kind of see how that's working with the contribution for the commission, which I don't know if everyone knows, but I'm very competitive. So I like obviously like being ahead of everyone else, like I'm not gonna lie. And being able to see all the figures helps me think, actually, I need to do more. So that's really spurred me on. With my Outlook diary, me and Shannon have got like a protection meeting that we do Mondays, Tuesdays and Fridays. So we kind of have half an hour in the mornings where we go, what's worked this week for us? What should we do next week? And so it kind of feels like a team, even though we are individuals, we are working as a team. And then after that, we've got pipeline management, which is when we take that time to catch up with the nurse screenings and GP reports, see where we're at with that. And then at the end of the day, at about 4 o'clock, when schools are finished, people might be back from work, we have a solid hour of where we can call people. It doesn't have to be that structured. It can, some days, some weeks can, if you're busy, you're busy.
Yeah.
But it's good to have that structure so that if you do need it, it's there and you can fit it in your day.
Yeah, so important. So I jump on the back of that structure, you know what I mean? It's an understanding that you need to get stuff done, isn't it?
Yeah.
Essentially, you by collectively bringing all the elements together, you'll get the result you want to get. But when you do a job, not well, half-heartedly in a sense, because you're missing tricks and you're dropping balls, then results then evidence that you're not organized. And you've always been very good at being organized. And you can kind of teach other people within the group exactly how to get organized. So what I encourage you to do, if you decide you're in on the Superstar group, share some pictures of the vision board we've got, not vision board, the figure charts in the office. Put a little bit of assistance for people, how they can get organized and in what way and what you're doing. So there's definitely talks about there. So it'd be much appreciated. But I've said it to a few people of late, whiteboard's really important. I've been obsessed with whiteboards since I was about 21, because the office I first started working in had about 6 or 7 whiteboards all wrapped around all the walls. We had 30, 40 advisors all on the whiteboards. And it was just about book the appointments and the results will follow. And I'm still to that day, that rule hasn't changed. I mean, ABC equals Z, as I say every week. ABC your appointment, Z your income. So, the middle's all about your progression. It's all about your ups and downs or whatever, but it'll come. You've just got to concentrate on the people and the appointments. And, with the organization, picking up the phone, making the calls, monitoring it, understanding where you're at with things, being organized, it's just so important. I'm going to come to Cade. Now, Cade, your mortgage is majority, but you've done a little bit of protection this month as well. This call isn't just about protection. It's about business and hitting the numbers. And, me and you collectively over this year, more you, have hit our numbers and grown significantly, more than we would have thought. So how have we done that? And how's it been working for you?
I'm trying to think of the best kind of way to portray it that's going to benefit everyone on the call as well, because they're very different business. The way they work are very different. But the one thing that I suppose is transferable to mortgages and protection is being proactive, in a sense that if you fill your diary, that's great. Obviously, you're booking appointments, whether it's through Facebook, whether it's chasing clients down for 3 years, whatever it is. But deal with what's on your desk. I suppose you said it earlier as well. So if you've got someone who says yes, or someone who's interested, just get it done. Well, that's a different protection of mortgages, but the concept is the same. I think if you've got a client in front of you that wants something, that's willing to listen to you, just bite the head off for it. And that's what I suppose what we've done is that we got a lot of appointments this year, and we've brought a lot of business off the back of that. But the only way to do that was to deal with the clients and not sit on them, be proactive, get the business written, get it done, get it in.
Oh, I'm ever so sorry.
Otherwise, it will go cold.
Yeah.
And if it goes cold from a protection perspective, we've all been there. That's really hard to get back if you let something go cold. So be proactive. It's probably the best advice I could give in terms of how we've sort of kind of performed this year.
We see a different, don't we, with mortgages and protection. The two are worlds apart by means of clients need you for mortgages and will be noddy dogs and say, help me 8 out of 10 times. Whereas it flips on its head, 2 out of 10 times, that's protection clients listening to you, wanting your advice. So, from an insurance point of view. People don't buy insurance. People buy you as an individual. And that's why the character for you, putting it across your knowledge, your experience, that side of things within protection is so important. You know, you've got to have a passion for what you do. If you don't care about, you know, what you're selling, then you'll portray that. Or if you're desperate for a sale, we've always talked about that, you'll portray that straight away. So with mortgages, it's different for us, isn't it? It's a matter of, you know, once we've got the numbers and the appointments, we've got to be good at what we do. We've got to make sure solve that riddle, as we always say. But I love what you're saying there, in that you've got to be proactive. And it's the same with mortgages or protection. When a client is giving you their attention, get it done, close it. Don't wait 24, 48 hours. We just implemented that we're going to have an appointment with a client. We're going to get it sourced and ring them straight back. Because we've always, you know, squeezed the time. And now it's got to a point we're in a world where people can jump on Amazon and they can have an item in their hand that day. And that's what people want. They want it there and then and now. So yeah, that's a good one. You know, we always said time does kill. That's really important. So Rachel, are you still here on the call, or are you driving now? Don't worry if you don't answer me. Or you are still here. Have you got a backpack on? You're muted. You need to unmute yourself.
Oh,
There you go.
I'm just waiting for my vehicle.
Bless you. Well, just while you're here, I'll grab you quickly.
Yeah.
What I've noticed with you, which is really positive, is that you've grown as an advisor from day one.
Yeah.
So you've not been inconsistent in what you're doing. You're getting better and better and better every month. And you can see that with business going in, but also you can see it with income and business coming out. So
Yeah.
the quality is there, what you're doing. So what's working for you?
What's working for me is just developing myself as a person and then putting it into practice with my work. So I just think if you better yourself as a person, you're going to get better results in your work and everything else you do.
Love that.
So, yeah, I mean, I take things very seriously, as in if I don't hit my projection that I project, I don't beat myself up about it. I just go, right, new month, let's go. And then I think consistency is key as well. And if you want business, with wills, for me, is the best way for business. And I don't really take no for an answer, because I'm not doing a will appointment. I'm doing a financial assessment. So yeah, I just think if your head's in the game, then you'll grow.
Absolutely. No, great answer. And I suppose if I said to everyone now, in November, you've got to write £2,000 worth of premium, everyone's answer will be, where am I going to get my clients from? So where are you getting your clients from?
Facebook mainly, friends. It's just building trust with people that know you, I think. So like people that know me have kind of seen what I'm doing. Now they're actually coming to me and asking me things. But yeah, I think it's just Facebook. So if someone likes my post, I message them and build a relationship with them.
So you're proactive on that. You're not waiting, are you, for them to message you?
No. So I just say, hi, thanks for liking my post. Have you had a good day? Just short and sweet. 9 times out of 10 they reply. And then it's just that kind of friendship building. And then they'll ask me what my will service is or what I'm actually doing. So it works.
How often are you posting on social media?
Pardon?
How often are you posting on social media?
Well, I try and post at least twice a day. I do miss days here and there because I just get swamped with more important things, but I try and put at least one out on them days. But yeah, I don't care about likes or shares or anything like that. I just want people to see what I'm doing. So the more you pump out, the more your algorithm builds, the more people see everything. And then you'll just get people talking about you. Because I've had people come up to me in the street last week and say, oh, you're the will lady. And I'm like, my name's Rachel, hi. But yeah, no, they just like neighbours and stuff, like, you come up on my news feeds, and I'm like, oh, good.
Yeah.
So yeah,
It works. 'Cause
It does work.
You started with the first word, consistency, and that's why it's working for you. And
Yeah.
just concentrate and keep doing it. It's not a
Yeah.
popularity contest. If
Nope.
you like LinkedIn, for example, you'll get no shares and no likes, but there's a little grey area and it says how many people have viewed it.
Yeah.
And 150 people.
Yeah.
They're all getting to know you. I always remember going to an event in London and a stranger come over to me and he went, "You're that guy off LinkedIn." I was like, weird. It was weird, but that's what it's about. It's about getting yourself out there. But
Yeah.
you hit the nail on the head. Don't sit around waiting for people to come to you, because there'll be people that feel they can't come to you, or they don't feel confident enough to come to you, or
Yeah.
is it really a no-cost will they cover? You've got to reach out to them, you know, and get to know your customer and build a relationship with your customer, as you're saying there. So
I think it's all about how you word things as well. So I worded things a lot different last month, which made my interaction with people a lot more serious.
Yeah.
And it was literally just a few words I tweaked, and I got into the client's shoes and kind of thought, well, what would I want to see if I was seeing that? I wouldn't want to just see free will writing service. I'd want to see a little bit more detail. So it was kind of like I was doing them a favour. So yeah, I kind of worded a lot of things different in groups, and then got loads from Clifton.
Didn't you?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what happens. You'll nail an area and it'll start to spiral. And you know,
Yeah.
naturally, you know, business creates business, as we always talk about. So, you know, keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah.
AJ is on the mortgage course, so I won't come to AJ unless he opens his camera now and tells me he's available. But thanks for that, Rachel. So just coming on to, you know, the main thing about what it is and what it by means of achieving results and being successful. And this is all it is. It's all about your mindset and your attitude. That's it. You've got two sides to your brain. You've got a positive side and you've got a negative side. And when you wake up in the morning, you've got a choice in which side you use. So I suppose let's put it into context. You've got, let's say you've got two factories, one at each side of your head, and it's full of 1 million little workers that get to work when you tell them to start work. You've got a negative crew and you've got a positive crew. Now, when you get out of bed, if you go, "Oh, it's winter, it's dark, it's gloomy. Oh, I've got out the wrong side of bed today. Oh, I've run out of milk." You know what I mean? "Oh, bloody hell, where's my shoes and my belt gone for work?" If you start your day that way, your negative mindset, look at Kaylee laughing, your negative mindset, all them little workers are thriving off that negativity and it's rushing through your bloodstream. If you get out of bed and you put your positive mindset on straight away, and how you do that, can anyone answer that for me? How do you first start with being positive in the morning? What's the one word I'm looking for? And you'll probably see a video I posted recently on social media that relates straight to this. Does anyone know the word? How do you be really positive? The word's gratitude. You be grateful for what you've already got. And people forget this. What people do is they strive for the next thing. And there's nothing wrong with having targets, as we're talking about, and having dreams and visions that we always talk about. But the priority should be looking at what you've already been given. You know, the universe is here to provide you, and you can have whatever you want in life. There's no limitations to what you can achieve, what you can have materialistic. So for yourself to be able to have that, it's up to you in your head with regards to how you're going to achieve it. But what you've got to do from a business point of view, you've got to commit. We've just talked about it there with, you know, 3 out of 4 here, consistency. You've got to become a little bit obsessed with it from a business point of view. You've got to learn to switch off. Don't get me wrong. But you know, if you're a full-time worker and you work 9 till 5, or you might work later one evening, you work, you commit, and you go at your results and you make sure they happen. And when you're ahead of the game, fantastic. But when you're not ahead of the game and you're behind, don't be negative about it. It's not the end of the world. You can play catch up. Don't matter. Tomorrow's another day. Doesn't always go well for the bumps in the road, like I said. So you've got to commit. You've got to be obsessed. And of course, it comes down to the obvious. You've got to work hard for your results. And the harder you work, the better results you're going to get. But you're also going to learn to become better at what you do and find out what does work for you. As like Rachel's saying there, she's learned that she's changed up her posts and stuff, and things are now starting to work a little bit better. So she might not be working quite as hard on her Facebook anymore. It just might be starting to happen for her. but initially you do need to do that. So, you know, you choose which workforce you want to get going. Kelly smiled. Oh, there it is. And, you know, start the day really positively, because if you're in that mindset, you'll attract that into your life 100%. Put yourself around positive people, you know, have a plan and have a routine to start the day in a good way, because if you start the way in a good way, then you're off to a good start. You'll more than likely have a good day as well. And as I've mentioned before, when something negative pops in, get it out your way. It's what it is, and move forward positively again. So I'm just going to jump on to, from a business perspective, actually, let's just finish with this, is that, you know, having a plan is really important. And what you'll find is that joy and depression don't reside together in the same place. There's a choice of which one you feel, and it's an emotion. You can't feel both at the same time. So you've got to choose which one you're going to go with. And that's that positivity. Now, you've got to think big. There's no point in sitting here going, do you know what, I'll try and do a couple £100 worth of premium for protection, or I mean, I'm going to do a couple of mortgages this month. You better setting the bar high and absolutely going at it with your plan and your vision. And then if you fail, obvious statement, aim for the moon and you hit the stars, is it? Or aim for the stars, you hit the moon, one or the other, whatever it is, you know, at least you've had a bloody good go of it. And you can say to yourself, do you know what? I did well, actually. Because if you aim for £1,000 worth of premium, you hit 600, is that a bad month? No, it's not. So your vision and your plans have got to be, you know, of course, realistic. They've got to be timed, but they've also got to be, you know, pretty on the back foot and understanding that you're going to commit. And then we decide how you're going to do it. And that's the big thing. How are you going to build your momentum, and what you're going to do differently to make sure that happens? So you've got to understand that you're going to achieve that goal. And for me, I've recently done a business plan that I've sat down from the mortgage perspective, especially with Kate and Kelly. And what I've established with the business plan is that in this business, a mortgage brings in £1,000 on average. That's simple. In this business, a protection case, believe it or not, brings in £1,000 on average. So it's easy for us to work with. So rather than concentrating on mortgage cases or protection, premium, or this, that, the other, we just know that if we want to earn 100 grand, we need to do 100 cases. If you want to earn £1 million, we'll do 1,000 cases. So it's that simple. So we can jump ship as a mortgage advisor and go, right, do you know what? Forget it's cases now, it's points. I want to do 100 points this year, or this month, or this week, whatever it is, which is 100 mortgages. Now, if I do it over a month and say I want to do 100 mortgages and I'm at 80 points, I could add in 20 protection points, protection cases, because they're all worth the same value. So the purpose of telling you that, if you're self-employed, each individual on your head, if you're on a 50% contract, is a £500 kickback for you. So every individual you close is £500 in your bank account. If you're an employed individual, work out your stats, understand what that value is from that individual. And then when you work at that value, say to yourself, well, this is what I want to earn. Let me just cancel that, something pops up. Doing an update. And break it down into points. So Kaylee, we've done that, haven't we, for you? I mean, you know that ideally I need 8 cases on risk for you. And it is about on risk, by the way. It's not about putting them in, it's what comes out. But if you're above 8, then I'm more than happy. And where do you want to be? I mean, so when you look at that table, have you actually looked at your commission and worked out, if you get to this, then in a month's income, this is what you'll receive? Because you should know that. So it's breaking it down and understanding what that's going to give you. And then once you've got that vision and understanding, you can work towards it, and you can commit, and you can become obsessed with that target, and you can exceed it and smash it to pieces if you want, but you work hard to make sure it happens. You know, people don't use a sat nav and get to that destination they want to get to without putting a postcode in it, do they? So that postcode is your plan. So make sure you've got that. So we're going to come on to breaking it down, and you know, how do you eat an elephant, Ked?
Bite-sized pieces, Mark.
I like bite-sized chunks, but bite-sized pieces, you do. You're not going to eat an elephant in one go. But if you break it down and you eat it in small pieces, as Kate says, you get through it. So you've got to look at your plan, and what we're doing collectively as a group is going, right, 501 in the background is our minimum. That's what we're doing as a group individually. So how are we going to do that? Now, we're not going to work it on Monday to Friday. We're going to work it on 30 days in a month. So do the calculation, 501 divided by 30. You can get a chart on the wall. You can put in little boxes and color it in. You can get an Excel spreadsheet if you want one. You know, I don't like Excel because they get hidden in your computer. You need to see it in front of you. You know, you can get a wall chart and get some stickers. You can go back to being 12. Poundland do them. Literally, some people like stickers. There's nothing wrong with that. Do what you feel is right for you, understanding where you're at. I like a thermometer that you fill up. And when it gets to the top, it overspills. It makes you feel good when you're filling it up. So there's a lot you can do with regards to monitoring it. And that's what we'll do as a group. We'll make sure beyond today, if you're in, we understand where you're at every day, where you're at. And it doesn't matter if you're playing catch up or if you're in front, we'll get to that destination that you want to get to. So coming on to a clear vision. So you need to understand what your personal target is in your business plan and make sure it scares you. When I wrote the business plan last weekend, I came into work and had a meeting on Monday with people. I had a little bit of doubt. It weren't doubt in the end. I decided it was just scaring me a little bit. I was thinking, bloody hell, it's a big ask. But now I'm excited because I've got something to work towards and something to really go at, and an understanding of what we're doing day to day, week to week, and month to month, especially into next year. Which for me, when you look at that, you look at the results more importantly, that's what brings the excitement off the back of being scared about it as well. But, you know, you've got to challenge yourself at the end of the day. And if you challenge yourself, you're going to, you know what I mean, you're going to enjoy what you're doing because it's going to give you a little bit more workforce, a bit more task to go at, rather than they coming into work and, you know, getting stuck in the mud with clients that you've been chasing for 3 years. Do you know what I mean? Great, you land that, but get that fresh blood momentum going, get your energy going. I mean, and make sure, as I say, your day's jam-packed with stuff that is different and exciting, keeps you on your toes. We're talking about campaigns and monthly campaigns. That's going to be set for us over November and December. And into next year, you need to then implement that into yourself and decide what you want to achieve. Because at the moment, I'm kind of telling you what the plan is for the end of the year. But into next year, you might say to me, no, Mark, no, wait a minute, mate. No, I'm going to do £1,000. I'm going to do £2,000 because I've mastered it now. But we can also put things in place to make sure you do that. You know what I mean? You don't have to do it solely on your own. I mean, you might need somebody working with you alongside you as a support tool with booking all your appointments, which we're blessed to have in the mortgage world. You might want to build a group and a team around you. So you might want to bring on another couple of mini protection advisors or support tools with you that work with you, and you earn commission off the back of them. Come to me. With no problem with doing that at all. We can help with that. And of course, we need to go to the obvious. And what we need to do for our vision is we need to make sure you've got your vision board. You understand what you're trying to achieve, but also why you're trying to achieve it. So we're going to make sure they're refreshed as well. And I'm not talking over the next month. I'm talking over the next week. Do you know what I mean? What do you want? I'll give you a little example of this, and I brought it in today to show you something. On the front of my phone, I've got a picture of a car. Now, this isn't me wanting to show off for anyone else. It's something I want for myself and also for my son, because I told Hudson that I'll buy a supercar one day, and he's excited for when I get it. Now, I want it so I can park it on the drive and clean it every weekend. I don't want to drive it, but at the moment I wouldn't buy it. I'd feel like an idiot pulling up at a petrol station in a supercar with a door coming up and everyone's struggling to pay for the fuel bills. So at the moment, I don't think the world's in a place to do that. But I know I'll get it one day. And I know when I'll get it, it's in the business plan. But what I've got at the moment to keep that at the forefront of my mind is a picture on the front of my phone of that car with my 2 kids who I love more than anything in the world stood next to it. And I see it every single day. I went to Tesco last night in Baldock, and I was just walking down the aisle with the kids looking at toys. The car I want is an unusual car. It's the McLaren, and they're not common. I also want it in a really unusual colour. I want it in bright orange because I like to show off. I've got a bigger show off at school, but it's been on my vision board now for a good few months, and it's been on my phone for a good few months. Now, the chances of stumbling across that car in Tesco You don't buy cars in Tesco, do you? So you're not going to do that. Last night, it even says dream car on it. I found my car in Tesco that I'm going to get, which is madness. Absolute crazy. Now, my missus didn't get that. She was like, why have you bought a car? I went, it's going at work. I'm going to put it on the side at work. Because that's what I'll have one day in a bigger size. So you need to know where you're heading. Vision boards, we're going to work on that. We're going to work on bucket lists. Doing what do you want to do? What do you want to achieve? You know, not just materialistic, within yourself. Do you want to, you know, get fit and healthy? Do you want a great mindset? Whatever it's going to be, short term, long term. Do you know, you've got to reward yourself at the end of November. So we're going to tell the group what you're going to get yourself. Shannon, unmute yourself.
Oh,
Where's your gumball machine?
in the shop.
So you're going to get that, but I'm going to buy it here at the end of November
Yeah.
when you're at 501. Okay?
hmm Yeah.
Is it a pink one you want?
That's right.
You know what's really sad?
What's
I've
that?
seen it in the bin, the picture of it. Because you took it off the whiteboard in the office. didn't you?
Yeah, I
When you
took
put it in the
the
bin,
dream board
I
down.
thought, no, we're not giving up on that. You're going to have
Yeah.
your gumball machine, and it's coming next month. So everyone needs to go away and think about, you know, your vision and what you want to achieve. And, you know, short term, something silly. It might be a toy car. It might be a gumball machine. Something that rewards yourself at the end of November. New pair of trainers. Maybe a spa day with the missus. Whatever it's going to be. New shopping spree down Primark. I know Rachel Ockerdale likes that. Whatever it's going to be. And then we're going to commit. And we're going to make sure it happens. But we're going to work on it day to day. We're not going to let a week or two go by and someone starts to fail. I'm going to be all over you and you're going to be all over each other in making sure we're supporting if you're part of the group. I'm going to keep saying that throughout. So I'm just going to touch on social media because it's been mentioned a lot. Shannon, Rachel, I believe in it. Do it. It's as simple as that. Do social media. Video. Do it. Put a video out there. Don't overthink it. Tell people what you're doing and why you're doing it. Why Martin Lewis is telling you to arrange a will. That's a listen to approved. I can do that for you. Give me a call. That's it. It doesn't have to be a staged video, nice lighting. Sit in the office and go, it's in Martin Lewis last night saying arrange a will. Listen, if you want one, I'll sort it for you and I won't charge you. Okay. Do it. Do video. Because you'll attract more clients into your diary. It's as simple as that. Don't make your post corporate. Be you. I mean, the character we've got in this business, it shines. Every time we do group team posts on social media, people are messaging me all the time. You know, your team are amazing. Of course, you are amazing. Show people. Don't hide away in the office. You know, get out in the fresh air if you need to, but obviously get on video. It makes it really important. And of course, consistency of post as well. Shannon, you do a lot of posting that's more materialistic posting. You know, mix it up, do a little bit of that as well. I'm not going to go big into social media. We've got a video on social media, which is still relevant on YouTube. If you want to rewatch it, get it fresh in your mindset, and then do it. This is the biggest thing about today. Don't listen about today on a mentoring session and then go away and not implement things. Well, you can't because you're in this group, you won't be able to anymore because I'll be all over you saying, show us your vision board. What are you going to have at the end of November? What are you going to do for Santa when you hit your 501 again? Do you mean? And you've got to tell people, how's your day been today, everyone? Tell us. Where did you get that sale from, Rachel? Shannon, how did you manage to get that client close today? Do you mean? Momentum, positivity, energy, bringing it to the table. That's what this group's about. So just going to touch on sales process, and I'm relating to protection here because our target is around protection. And what's the best way to start an appointment, Kaylee? What would you say?
To assume you've already got it, in my opinion.
I love that. I love that.
Just go into it with just like not really any expectation as such, but I don't mean like as in that they're not going to take it sort of thing, but just go in and be you. Like the best appointments I've ever had, I've just kind of just started talking, and a lot of the time I don't even really talk about protection. Yeah. So and I just make it about them and who they are, and have a conversation, and that's how you find out what's actually important to them.
Yeah. No, spot on. So you've got to go in with confidence, haven't you? I think that's a big one. You know what I mean, we talked about it earlier in that when you're struggling in this world and you can't make a sale, you portray that to your clients straight out. So you've got to go in and you've got to go, I'll get this. Be easy, no problem. Because I'm good at what I'm doing. Bottom offering is amazing. And if you don't want it, move on to the next. Simple. So you've got to commit. Shannon, how would you say you start an appointment?
Definitely building rapport. You
Oh,
know,
stick
having
with that. I want to hear more about
so yeah, building rapport. You know, having a little chat. You know, asking them how their weekend is and you know what they've been up to, and just having a little chit chat with them. And like Hayley said, you know, talking to them, you know, about what's important to them, and maybe not necessarily making it so protection heavy, but more about them. And like you've said before, people love to talk about themselves. So, you know, you're making someone feel good about themselves. But yeah, obviously, you know, you're learning more about them so you can give them a more bespoke service, and you're tailoring it to them. So, yeah.
Sorry, Mark has popped to the toilet.
Sorry.
No one's
Keep
ignoring
going,
you. I heard everything you said. But yeah, no, I think you work very well like that. And I think we both do, like, and I think that's what makes a protection advisor so different. Like, I think mortgages are more numbers and making sure that obviously we want to get the dream home for them, whereas the mortgage protection, you want to actually keep them in that dream home. But it doesn't necessarily mean they're going to get a multi-plan that's got life cover, critical illness cover, or income protection.
Exactly, yeah.
It's about what's important to them.
Yeah, 100%. I think also, which is definitely a very big thing at the moment, is budgets. You know, obviously with the cost of living and stuff. And I think it's being understanding with someone's budget and doing the best to get the most comprehensive plan within that budget, and showing, you know, how hard you're working to meet that at both ends and get that best plan for them. Yeah, I think obviously, you know, it's great obviously starting with these big premiums and stuff like that, but yeah, speak to people, get to know their budgets, because you don't want them just to be like, oh, that's too expensive, and shut you out. So it's working with the client, and like I said, tailoring it, making it bespoke and about them, really.
Can I jump on that, Shannon?
Yeah.
Because the purpose of these groups are not that everyone's opinions are right. Now, I'm not saying you're wrong, but I'm going to just put a little input on that from when you talk about, you ready, budget. Right. If you sit down with a customer, or you have a will appointment with the client, or you get someone to come into the office and, you know, you start discussing critical illness, income protection, or whatever, and you say to them, well, listen, where's your budget at? And they say to you, well, I don't know, maybe, you know, 50 quid. You know what I mean? If you're lucky, they're going to give you one. But the majority of the time, they don't want to spend any money on insurance. They want to spend money on insurance. The budget's nothing. They haven't got a budget. Because how can they give you a figure when they don't understand what you're offering?
Yeah.
So how you should work is you should meet the need of the customer. Now, when I started in this industry, Miss Wences, the compliance officer used to come and sit down with me doing my role players, and they'd rabbit on about meet the need. And for a decade and a half, I thought it was a load of tosh. What are you on about? Meet the need, You need to meet the need. It's as simple as that. You need to sit down with a customer and you need to do a proper job, as you always talk about, but you need to cover all angles. But how do you cover angles? You need to get to know your client first.
Yeah.
You need to understand, you know, what do they do for a job? Do they get sick pay? Would they struggle if they couldn't work? Could they pay the mortgage? Would the kids be able to eat? How would the kids survive if the mum and dad weren't here? You've got to understand that, because then if their needs comprehensive, you decide their budget is more. And you tell them that. Now, I'm not saying they're going to go, okay, amazing, let's go with that then, because it's 150 quid. But what they are going to say is, what they're going to do is they're going to respect you for doing a proper job, a professional job, let's use the word this today. And then they're going to take something rather than nothing. They're going to ski downhill. But we've got to be positive and we've got to do the job right. You know, put your hand up here. If you can say to me, every client you've dealt with over the last 3 months, you've recommended income protection, critical illness, and life cover to them. Put your hand up if you've done that for every client. Don't believe you, Rachel. But yeah, we don't work that way. What we do is we find someone and we go, oh, this person's self-employed. He's going to need some income protection. And you might tag in a bit of critical illness cover, but that's kind of what you do. You don't sit down and you go, right, is there a need for life insurance? Is there a need for critical illness? Is there a need for income protection? That's how we need to be working as an advisory service. Now, you don't have to confuse the client with the overall preparation of it all, but you do need to pinpoint and meet that need. So how do you meet the need? Who can answer that? How do you meet a client's needs? How do you, sorry, the better question, how do you establish their need? Anyone got the answer?
Questions.
Spot on. You ask them questions and you get them talking. So what kind of questions do you ask them, Rachel?
I can't think on the spot.
Any a clue? Closed or open questions?
Yeah, open questions.
Yeah.
Definitely no closed ones unless you're answering with a question.
So for example, Ked, you're a client of mine. Serious question. How does the future look for you and your family if you couldn't work for the next 5 years? Serious question.
Tough.
So
Financially,
tell us a little bit more about that then. What do you mean by tough?
Without an income, wouldn't be able to pay bills probably after a few months. You probably exhaust all our savings, so we'd have nothing left in that. Yeah, it'd just be really stressful.
Okay, well, don't worry, we can sort that for you.
Say that again, sorry?
Don't worry, we can sort that for you.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah. So how would you pay your mortgage if you were critically ill and you couldn't work again?
It's probably savings. I'll dip into my savings. I might have to check my employer's sick pay. Might get paid from them. But other than that, yeah, if I've not got an income, yeah. So probably savings and sick pay.
Okay. So, you know, they're going to be a difficult situation. Critical illnesses essentially don't get back to work. So, you know, there's a huge problem there. Well, don't worry, we can address that. You know, we'll talk about the past tense here. So if you were to have lost your partner yesterday, how would you support your financial commitments ongoing?
Probably wouldn't.
No.
Difficult.
So we need to address that situation.
Yeah.
One more question for you, Ked. How would your daughter be financially supported if she was no longer able to, you were no longer able to provide for her?
I'd maybe rely on family. I don't know.
Okay, don't worry, I'm going to sort that for you. You see how powerful that is? So what I would recommend doing, and what we can do in the group, we can put together some questions, 3 or 4 questions that you ask every client that covers your areas of life cover, critical illness, income protection. Because what you're going to do, we're not allowed to use this word in this industry, but we'll use it for today. You've got to disturb them to open their eyes to, you know, the real world, because it happens. People will be able to tell that when I talk about protection and get on these groups that I care about protection. I genuinely do. Of course, everyone cares about critical illnesses, but I care about protection, making sure people aren't financially in the shit. And they can do, they've got something that we and my company and my advisors have arranged for them. So when a client rings you up and says they need to make a claim, you've done a good job for them. Shannon, you've had a claim recently.
Yeah.
What claim was that about?
So it was a sepsis claim. She'd previously claimed this year as well, also for something else.
Okay.
She wasn't entirely sure whether she could claim, so she came to me, spoke to me about it. Great news, she could. So yeah, we put that through for her, and it's really helped her out. But yeah, also with the thing that happened previously this year, she didn't know she could claim on. It just so happened that I'd contacted her for a review and she told me that she was currently going through a really hard situation, in which, you know, obviously I then reached out to her provider, double checked and really sort of looked through her documents, and I just sent her a little email just to say, you know, just want to make you aware of this. You can claim this amount on your policy. You are entitled to that. Whether you choose to do so is up to you. Obviously, no amount of money can make up for that. But yeah, just wanted to show my support from a distance while she was grieving.
Well, what you need to do, you need to tell, not in too much detail, but you need to tell every single client that you now deal with, you just had a claim last week.
Yeah.
Compared out, she can give her thousands of pounds worth of money to help her financially now, and she's concentrating on her health. So you can use that case studies and you can evidence that to your clients that, you know, these policies pay out. And if anyone on here is new to the industry and hasn't had that claim yet, we'll talk about people who have had claims. You know, you can talk about Shannon's situation. I've had claims, but clients, heart attacks, Parkinson's, cancer, it's all happened. But how good you feel as an advisor when you've done the job right, and they're actually not going to lose their house, and you can take a check round for £250,000 or whatever it is. There's a huge feeling of satisfaction from that. So he's having that passion and that understanding of what you do as well. So, you know, we talked about open questions in creating opportunity, covering all areas with your clients. You know, talk about life kick and IP. You might get IP and kick. You might get life cover and IP. You might not. You might just get life cover, but at least you've asked the question. If you don't ask, you don't get. So once you've closed a client, there's got to be an after sales process for you that we've got to implement as this group to make sure that we are creating business off the back of business. So a really good habit of saying to a customer that you've just closed on, firstly, did I do a good job for you? Are you happy with what I've done? Don't speak. Let them answer the question. And when they say, yeah, thank you, really appreciate what you've done, say, could I just ask you one favour then? We just write a status on Facebook for me and tag me, just saying, Rachel's arranged my life insurance. She's done a really good job. If anyone needs to do that, please give her a call or drop her a message on Facebook and tag you. Because you're going to then be marketed to hundreds of people in their network, which can then message you. But they need to be to the point with regards to all that status is. So even drop them a message and say, will you drop this on your status for me? Write it for them. Make sure it says the word income protection or life insurance. It can't say protection policy or will. Will's fine because you're going to create more clients from it. So you've got a regiment and ask your clients to do that because you're getting yourself out there. And trust me, that one client then will generate referrals for 3, 4, 5 people off that one. We all know that when you go to your client and say, do you know anyone else that can help? They go, oh, I don't know. Well, yeah, probably, yeah. You just don't get the information. It's very rare you get the name and number because they feel a little bit like, oh, should I not? So you can say to them, listen, what I used to do is I used to ask for a name and number off my clients because I work off referrals and recommendations. But I stopped doing that because clients don't like to give personal data. So would you do me a favor? Just pop a status on Facebook for me then and tag me, just thanking me. And that's a big ask. The thing is with that, you've got to ask that question and you can feel a bit awkward asking it. But really think about what you're feeling awkward about. You're feeling awkward about 10 seconds of your life that can have a huge benefit on moving forward and generating new business. So you need to park that uncomfortableness that you can have and make sure that you can move forward with that positivity that you ask, you get. And it's new business all the time, ABCs, and you're going to get, and then your Z's going to happen. With regards to asking for referrals, you know, you can be direct. You can say, do you know anyone? But you need to be more specific. You've got to say, do you know anyone with children? Have you got any good friends who've got children like yourself? Or you just arrange income protection for a plumber? Do you work with any other tradesmen who I could speak to? You've got to ask the question. You've got to be direct. Now, what I would recommend doing is an after sales process that's regimented into your diary, that once you close a deal and you send a new case in, you put that client back in your diary for the week after. What that means is it's a thank you call, it's a gratitude call. It's to reach out to that customer, pick the phone up, don't drop them a bloody email, drop them a WhatsApp, pick the phone up and just say to them, listen, I'm not ringing you for anything else. I'm just ringing to say thank you. That's it. Don't ask them for a referral on that call, because it really matters to me that you put your trust in me to arrange your protection policies for you and your family. Just thank you. That's it. Because what you put out, you get back. If you're putting gratitude out, you'll get it in abundance back to you. And as we've talked about today, consistency, just keep doing it. Show people the good person that you are, and it'll come back in abundance. You'll get referrals. They'll put the status on for you when you ask, because you've been nice. So you've got to keep doing that. So, you know, we talked about gratitude today. It's really important to be grateful for what you've got by means of your personal life, by means of in business. And everyone needs a pen and paper at this point, because if you're going to join the group, again, I've said it again, there's a little bit of a routine we're going to do over November and December. And it's the first challenge that's implemented. You're going to get yourself a new notebook, one of these. Don't use a current one, a new one. Go and buy yourself a nice one with like a hardback or something, or a colourful one, or got a nice motivational quote on the front or whatever. Might come with a pen. Get yourself the notebook, and I want you to do this. Every morning, the first thing you do when you open your eyes is take a breath. The second thing you're going to do is you're going to write down 3 things that you're grateful for. And then you're going to write down 3 things that you want to attract into your life. Could be this year, could be next year, could be all the next 10 years. It doesn't matter. So 3 things you're grateful for. Give me an example of that now. Let's put some positivity on this group. Kaylee, what are you grateful for? Anything?
I'm grateful that I actually have the words in my head. They're just not coming out, sorry. That I got into running this year, and I actually progressed with that, and I've done 5Ks and 10Ks.
Amazing. Good answer. Shannon, come to you.
I'm grateful that, you know, I get to leave my own flat, and I get to get in my own car and drive where I need to go, see my friends and family. You know, not many people, you know, may have those luxuries to be able to do that. So
Good answer. Coming to you, Rachel.
I'm grateful for a lot of things, but mainly my health, because I have to talk about not nice things. So it does open your eyes a bit in this industry, and I'm grateful for my health and that I've woken up this morning and I can be me.
Oh, great answer. Absolutely. I'm probably with you on that one. Cade, coming to you.
I'm grateful, even more so this time of year, actually, because you see a lot leading to Christmas. You see a lot on social media about, you know, kids and families that aren't as grateful as some of us, or as lucky as some of us. So I'm really grateful for my family and my daughter mainly, but grateful that, you know, I can give her that experience at Christmas and stuff. So yeah, really grateful for that.
Good answer. I'm grateful that I get to wake up in the morning and got 2 beautiful kids and one on the way and a missus. I'm so lucky to have that family unit. That's my biggest thing in the world. That's my bullet point. So the challenge is, you need your notepad. You're going to write 3 things down every morning, and it's going to be what you're grateful for and 3 things you want to attract into your life. You're not going to put it on the group. It's for you. It's for you to take 2 minutes of your time in the morning and write it down. And what I'm going to say to you is, if you're ever feeling negative in the day or something shit happens, just get your book out and just look back over a few days. Done this before, it's so good. So that's the first challenge. The next challenge we're going to do is your affirmations. Who knows what an affirmation is?
I am amazing.
Correct. Well done. So you're going to write down 3 affirmations, and it's going to be on the first page of your new book. Now, these affirmations are going to be in the current tense, what you are, what you believe, what you were wanting to attract, but you've already got. You're already there. Anything. And run these by us, put them on the group, because we're all interested to what those are going to be. But as an example, I am lucky to have a happy and healthy family. I'm going to say that to myself every day. My hard work and commitment ensures my business is successful and growing every day. I am able to have my dreams become reality when I choose. They're my 3. Now, what you need to do, you need to have them on the first page of your book, as I say. You need to say to yourself every morning before you write your 3 grateful things down and your 3 things you're going to attract into your life. And you're going to get to a point where you know these affirmations, these 3, without looking at the book. You're going to memorize them and you're going to keep saying them to yourself throughout November. And then at the beginning of December, you're going to change them. You're going to do 3 new ones. So for the minute, think about your affirmations. That's challenge number 2. What you need to do, I'm going to finalize now with regards to this first mentoring session, because they're going to be, oh, where's everyone gone? 1 minute then, I'll come off. Get me out. Bear with me a second. Really weird. Back. You kick me out then. Do apologise. These mentoring sessions that we're going to do month to month are going to be a reflection on the month, a reflection on the positivity, a reflection on, you know, just all the great stuff that's happened over the month. But we're also all going to communicate on the group and go, what's working well for you? Oh, I'm going to try that. Why don't you do this, Kaylee? Rachel, why don't you do what you're doing with Shannon? Why don't you get together and have a coffee throughout the month and I'll pinpoint down on what's working well for you and actually just have a bit of a laugh. Take your head out to work, maybe for an hour. Do you mean it doesn't all have to be work? And I think the key is we all need to support each other within the group. And that's the key. We're going to shout about what we're doing. We're going to put it all over social media. We're going to have a mindset that, listen, I'm going to protect 30 families in November, and I'm going to tell everyone I'm going to do that. You're going to get some energy around the back of these meetings and around the group. And that's the big thing. You've got to enjoy it though. That's the biggest thing. So don't do something that you're not enjoying. Don't commit to something that you think, oh, God, this is hard work. I wish I'd never have said this, that, the other. Make it relevant to how you want to achieve your goals as well. You know, we say it all the time, ask. Some will, some won't, so what next? Ask 10 people today, 1 will say yes. If you ask 4, you might not get 1. So maybe keep asking until you get 1 and try and work out how many people you need to ask to get your next appointment. Be direct on protection. You know, wills are fantastic, but put protection at the forefront of your mind and ask about protection. And the fallback can always be the will. Of course, you want will appointments in your diary. They're fantastic to get in front of people. It's the best tool in the industry now for generating business, and not just protection business, other business as well. But more importantly, challenge yourself, commit. And if you're going to be in the group, message me within the hour and I'll add you to the group, and we're off and we'll be touching base this week, all into next week after, not week to week, day to day. We're going to be all over it and we're going to support each other because it's a group. It's not me jumping down your throat saying what you're doing, cracking a whip. That's not what it's about. It's about everyone supporting each other and enjoying what we're doing. And then we could all celebrate together at the end of the month and we'll be a freaking super group. So we're going to end it there. Has anyone got any questions today that they want to bring to the table? And what I would say before you answer that, throughout the month, if you think you could do with support and help with things, we'll do it as and when, but also bring them to the table at the next mentoring meeting. I mean, maybe obviously bring positivity and what's working well for you, but if you need help in areas and support, bring it to the table, because when we answer it for you as an individual, the group are together, everyone's going to benefit from that feedback and everyone's going to be able to give feedback on it. It's not just my opinion. Do you mean? Did Shannon just
Sorry.
That was a good sentence. So we're going to end it there. Has anyone got any questions today before we finish? You don't have to have, by the way. All good. No? Well, listen, have an amazing day. Go and do whatever makes you happy for the next half an hour and puts you in the good mindset to have a cracker of a day. Signing off. I'll see you all soon.